Well, after a lot of thinking what I was going to talk about in this video, I I think what was really meaningful in my life. And 2 days ago I had this moment outside the School of Music, and I realized that on my life I have my profession, which are math, my passion, which is the theater, my hobby, that is playing the viola and being in the orchestra, and my way of life. My way of life is the Scout way of life. I first entered the movement in 2001, September 2001, and I first started being a little wolf, a lobato from the manada. So I was on the manada from when I was 9 years old to 11 years old. I barely remember anything from this stage because I was really a kid from them, but I do remember having real fun and getting new friends. So when I turned 11, I passed to the next stage, which is called the troupe. The troupe is from 11 to 15 years old. So when I was in the troupe, I had my best experience for my whole life, I think. First in 2003, if I don't remember wrong, I went to Nicaragua to a camporee. Camporee is a camping where a lot of troopers from other places come there. So I went to Nicaragua in 2003. I went to Oaxaca to another camporee but at national level, and I went to Acámbaro to Encuentro de Arte y Expresión, Expression and Art Scout Encounter. So I have 3 scout travels on my troupe stage. And after I went through this stage, when it was 2005, I was 13 years old, I started living abroad. I started living in Spain. So there in Spain I joined another group. The group was called Luján 102. It was from my neighborhood, and a lot of people from my own building and the near buildings were going to that group. So when I started going, I realized a lot of them were going to my institute, to the Príncipe Felipe Institute. So I quickly made new friends. So I stayed there from 3 years, and the first one I was on the troupe, and in the second year I passed to the what they call escolta. Here in Mexico we don't have the escolta, we have the walkers community, the Comunidad de Caminantes. But there's in Spain it's called escolta, and it's one from 1 year before than here. So I started being a escolta and started working on this project by my own, and I had a really good experience with all my friends from there. Actually, I met some of my best friends are still there. When I came back from Spain, I was 16 years old, so I still being from the age to be on the community of walkers, the Comunidad de Caminantes. So I started being with the people that I were on the troupe stage before I started living in Spain. So I didn't have to make new friends because they were my old friends, and that's a really nice thing from Scout, that no matter how much time passes, no matter how long is the distance you have between, you always belong to this fraternity, to these you seem like they're your own brothers. So when I was in the Comunidad de Caminantes here in Mexico, I went to Monterrey to another expression and art encounter. And after that, on the last summer, I went to what it was called the Jampan, the Jamboree Panamericano. It was an event from all Latin America. They came from Brazil, Venezuela, Ecuador. So I met a lot of new friends from there. And after that, I turned 18 on that same summer. So when in the Scouts movement, when you turn 18, you start retrieving some of the service that the movement gave to you by forming your own character, by forming your personality. You start retrieving by doing some projects and doing some services to the movement and the community you live. So when I turned 18, I passed to this clan, the Robert clan. And when I started working on their projects that were way too different from the community projects, because they are more service and self-pleasure, and I don't know, it's more than going to a school and help the little kids and I don't know, a vaccination campaign, than like in the community going to rappel or going to play paintball. So I can really appreciate from the Scout movement formed, which I really am now. And what I most like about it is the concept of living this world in better conditions that we found it.